To health now, as part of renewed efforts to improve routine immunization and COVID-19 vaccinations across the country, the Ministry of Health and National Primary Healthcare Development Agency have recognized some state governors for their outstanding contribution to the immunization drive. The commendations were given by the Minister of Health, Dr. Sage Hanire, and the Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Schweib, as 15 states were given various rewards for their excellent performance in routine immunization and COVID-19 vaccinations at this year's Immunization Performance Awards.
The governors, right from the get-go, established committees, task forces to coordinate and manage COVID-19. But beyond that, they also personally were invested in getting local government chairmen, traditional and religious leaders to mobilize people towards taking vaccinations against COVID-19, but also childhood immunizations. Secondly, awareness creation and demand creation, working together with community leaders, many of whom are here today and represented by the Emir of Argungu.
While delighted by our high-performing ranking in terms of COVID-19 vaccine rollout, using our innovative strategies, we do acknowledge that we still have a long way to go and a lot to do. Our current vaccination rate of just about 38% of eligible population fully vaccinated nationwide is insufficient. We must put in more effort.
All right, the Director General of the River State Primary Healthcare Development Agency joins us from Calabar, the state capital, Dr. Janet Ekpeyong. Great to have you on the program, News Across Nigeria. The Ministry of Health has rewarded some states that have performed well in the area of immunization in the country. What is your view on the programs, immunization programs in Nigeria?
Oh, yes. So as part of the celebration to mark the, of course, African Immunization Week, federal government thought it wise to, appreciate states that have been outstanding, in routine immunization as well as the COVID-19 vaccination. And for me, it's really highly commendable because I'm also proud to say that Cross River State emerged best in South-South region. And it's a booster and, of course, great motivation for all the hard work the health workers have been putting in, as well as all the investments made by His Excellency Senator Professor Ben Ayadi, as well as other governors of other states. So indeed, it's commendable, and I believe that this will go a long way to encourage and motivate states and, of course, the governors to continue to invest in immunization, because we know that's just the best way we can, prevent pandemics or overcome pandemics. So for me, it's highly commendable.
I wanted to find out the areas of funding and, of course, storage. Do you think the states have enough funds and cold chain facilities for its various routine programs?
So I'll say, in as much as we commend governments, of course, federal and state governments, for all the support and, of course, all the investments, I think we need to still do more. A lot is still needed because apart from just providing routine immunization, there's several other primary healthcare services that will further complement the efforts being put in for routine immunization. So more funding is actually needed. And you know very well that even at the state level, there are competing priorities. But we are saying that you should still prioritize health and, of course, ensure that we can provide enough cold chain equipment, because you might have of course, a cold chain or store at the state level, but a lot of facilities at the community level do not have cold chain equipment, and they need to also be strengthened in that regard. So a lot needs to be done. We need more investment in, of course, immunization as well as other parts sectors, of the entire health sector, because that will further strengthen and, of course, provide all the necessary and bridge all the necessary gaps that exist. But more funding is needed for health, and government needs to invest more, in routine immunization, so that we can at least try to reduce child mortality in Nigeria, and of course, continue to do our best while we achieve towards achieving universal health coverage.
Now, you'll agree with me, and of course, we all know that primary healthcare system is the closest to its citizens. How will you rate the primary health facilities across the country, even as of now?
Okay, so I'd like to say here that in as much as we've done a lot in terms of revitalizing primary healthcare, but a lot of investment still needs to go in. And I'm glad that the National Primary Healthcare Agency, through, of course, headed by Dr. Faisal Schwab, are doing a lot in seeing how we can attract more funding to the PHC, because we're not there yet, I must say. We've done our best, maybe we're just about 40%, but we still need to do more to hit the 100% target. Funding is really needed. Apart from just infrastructural development of primary healthcare facilities, we need to ensure that we also, provide human resource for health workers that will man these facilities. We need to also equip the facilities. We need to provide other essential commodities that are needed for these facilities. So, in as much as we've done really well, but more needs to be done. Primary healthcare, a lot of investment is still needed, because rather than encouraging people to go to secondary facility to access basic healthcare services, because those services are not available, then it just calls for more investment to be made. So we just have to do more. And I'm glad that federal government has realized this, and that's why a lot of planning to invest more resources in strengthening the primary healthcare sector.
Which brings me to the final question, of course. Do we have enough health workers across the country to ensure a successful routine immunization? Because we have to be able to sustain this, you would agree.
I must say that we don't have enough. And the earlier we of course, employ more people, the better for us. Because currently, I must tell you, we are losing health workers daily, to other countries. And that's because they don't have the right incentives that should encourage them to stay back. Sometimes health workers are being owed. And so federal government just needs to do more. And of course, state government needs to do more. We do not have enough human resource, I must say. And even the ones we have on ground, most times we just get to overwork them. But however, it's because of the passion they have for the work. And that's why you see them going the extra mile to see how they can provide healthcare services. But honestly, we just have to strengthen, of course, primary care services as well as routine immunization at the grassroots.
All right, the Director General, Dr. Janet Ekpeyong of the Cross River State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, we thank you for your thoughts on the program News Across Nigeria.